Hey y'all. So I wanted to make a video talking about the My Little Pony horror series or horror art that I've been seeing as of late. And I really want to talk about how I find it very fascinating and kind of, I wouldn't say differing from like the usual like take childhood thing and make it scary thing, but how I find it very interesting on why specifically My Little Pony take cute thing, make it scary is very different from the usual ones. And I find it very different is because when the last iteration of it, or the most known before the human show came out, sorry, I'm trying to remember like stuff that happened like a decade ago, so if it's fuzzy then please explain if I'm getting it wrong in the comment. But I think it was like something 4 or 5, generation 4 or 5, and the one with like Applejack, Rainbow Dash, Rarity, Fluttershy, and I'm forgetting the purple one. But I remember there was a video that came out I was talking about like My Little Pony and then the Brony experience. I found it. This is the video. I recommend you go watch it. But in the beginning of the video, it talks about how the popularity of My Little Pony, or at least this version, was mainly due to 4chan and people trying to be edgy. Like, wouldn't it be funny if we like made this super girly show like super popular and we started like getting into it? And of course, people did start like being kind of gross and weird with My Little Pony. But then there's another side where it was like people being genuine. But I want to talk about this side first, the not genuine people, and people would start making like weird and disturbing like gore videos to it. Now thankfully I have never seen like a glimpse of what it was, but I do know that there were no like content warning or like, hey, there's gonna be blood of this. And the people making those videos did that on purpose because the main audience, whether we liked it or not, for My Little Pony were little girls or children, because boys can like girly stuff too, but the main audience was little girls. And the people who made those gross and disturbing on purpose videos knew this, so they would have like the thumbnails be like, oh, cute, pretty, and then in the video would be like, what I'm guessing is like gore. And now with all that preamble aside, why is it that the previous gore, ew, gross stuff is bad, but the current My Little Pony horror stuff is good in my opinion? And the main reason is intent. Because back then, the main target audience was, like I said, children, more specifically little girls. Well, now they've all grown up. They're like, when it was popular, I was still in high school, and now I've graduated from college. I'm like 24, and so has the main fan base. Whether we like it or not, the little girls are now adults, and now those adults who have either probably seen the bad gore stuff are now able to like make their own gore and put content warnings on it. And I've seen some that are like mainly about like infections. I'll probably put some on put some in the captions. I'll also like share some of the names of the creators that I found their AUs fascinating. And I don't know where this originated from, it just popped up on my For You page. And what I also really like about it is that I feel like most of them is from like an infection that happened in the show. It was like something involving a tree, and like you would get infected with it and then you would become like trees or spores. I know one of them is like you become desensitized and you basically become like a living tree, in the sense that like tree made out of body and not like tree, you know what I mean? And then there's another one where like you would like decay, decompose, and then you would become like spores. And what I find fascinating is that I feel like a lot of the ones that I've seen on my For You page are mainly inspired by the pandemic that happened and is still technically going on with like COVID-19 and all that. And now because I mentioned COVID-19, this entire video is gonna have like that, learn about COVID-19 right here. But regardless, I always find horror fascinating because it is usually a mirror of what we fear the most. You know, with like the vampire craze, we're always afraid of people like breaking into our homes because, you know, vampires have to be invited and then they suck your blood, kill you from like draining you. And then with zombies, it's the like fear of like death and then like having in the story like having to unalive someone that you hold dear, because if you don't, they will infect you, and then you will attack your loved ones, and the cycle continues. And either of those could also be related to capitalism, but that's another video or another idea. And with this infection, that could be also related to zombies. But this is like kind of being added with this sprinkle of like the pandemic that we all are still sort of going through. But yeah, I'm really loving the MLP horror stuff. I really like how nearly all of them have had like content warnings in front of them, so that we all know that TikTok is also being used by kids, but at least they can see that before they can like scroll away like, oh, I don't want to see that.